Hello everybody, I'm actually going to break character on this video and use my real voice. I know that I actually prefer making videos with text type because that way I can concentrate on the music, but this video is going to be a little more geared towards pedalboard design, specifically for the ambient bass player or synth player. Synth and bass, for me anyways, kind of go hand in hand. Now I play bass at our local church, and so on a weekly basis I'm always kind of looking to find a good pedal board or some good pedals that'll match the music that we're playing. Sometimes we don't have a synth player, and so I try to find some pedals that will work as a pad. If we're playing contemporary Christian or Christian rock, the bass isn't going to be too overpowering. It's going to be more subtle. It's going to be more single notes or whole notes, in which case you really want that sound to carry through. Sometimes if you're playing a passive bass, those notes are going to deaden really fast. So it's good to have a little sustain, a little compression on your sound, or even a freeze pedal, which in this case I'm using a freeze pedal. Or sometimes you may be in a situation where you don't have a keyboard player and you're looking to do and you're playing ambient music. It's good to have a pedal design that's going to provide a pad so you can have that sustain or have that ambience carry over whilst at the same time playing your bass notes underneath. And so I've kind of did a little bit of that here within this design. And I try to find pedals that will match the music that we're playing. So every week I'm changing out my pedal board, or bi-weekly, or whenever I'm needed to perform. In this particular design, I've got the volume pedal off to the side here. If I change my mind at the last minute and decide, I really wanted it to be part of the pedal board, well, I do Velcro on the side of my volume pedals, and I've also got Velcro off to the side on the side of my pedal board as well. So if I needed to, in a fix, I could attach my volume pedal right to the board just like that, no problem. This is a real simple board here, not a whole lot going on. That first pedal was volume. Here I've got an expression pedal going into the Cloudburst reverb, and this is going to be my pad. The great thing about this is you can actually program the Strymon Cloudburst to operate with an expression pedal. In this particular setting, I'm controlling the amount of reverb. So the reverb could be very subtle, or I can have it all the way down, and I can set the settings to how much reverb I want. So I've got it to where it sounds like a full orchestra when it's all the way down, and obviously all the way up it cuts the reverb off. So if I need a quick pad, the way that I have this designed is I'm using the freeze pedal, which is an amazing little pedal. You can either set it to latch, or you can set it to slow, or you can set it to fast, and all that's going to do is determine how quickly the sustain cuts off. And then off to the side here, I actually found an amazing parametric EQ from a company called Guyatone. And so I really love using this. I was actually looking for the vintage Boss pedal, but as I was searching for vintage bass pedals, this one popped up. And I tell you, I think my gas is running high with the Guyatone vintage pedals, because I saw some other Guyatone pedals that I think are going to sound amazing on bass, and so I've ordered some of those. I've gone down this vintage rabbit hole. I don't know what happened to me. For a while there, I was really gassed out with all the groove boxes and synthesizers, and then when I started playing a little bit more at church, I realized that, hey, I really need to work out my sound with the pedals, because I really want to be more of an ambient bass player, and it's another rabbit hole that doesn't stop. You got the gear acquisition syndrome, and then you have the pedal acquisition syndrome. So I've got gas and pass. Not that I'm trying to pass gas, but for whatever reason, I went down the pedal rabbit hole, and yeah, I can't get out of that one. But anyways, praise the Lord, thank God. We're surviving the weather. So we actually canceled church today, so that I've got time to go through the pedals and stuff with you guys today. So that was kind of the pedal board in a nutshell. So it is time for me to actually disassemble these boards, because I only use these boards on a weekly basis. And next week we're going to have a whole different set list, and I will be designing another pedal board, kind of based on what the songs are. They may not call for this much ambience. We may actually have a keyboard player. I won't have to do the pads. That thing was on there tight, wasn't it? So let's just go ahead and disassemble this real quick. I think I'm going to have to use less grip on the bottom of my pedals, so they're not so tough to take off, since I change them out on a weekly basis. There's so many great people out there that design pedal boards. I was actually going to have somebody design a pedal board for me. I love how clean they're able to keep all the wires on the back, and it just looks so professional. And I reached out to some local people that were able to do that. And oh my God, the cost of having one of those pedal boards designed for you is literally in the thousands, depending on how many pedals you want and how nice you want it. And obviously you can make it, the sky's the limit when it comes to pedal board design, I guess, when you have it done by a professional, which is fine. Everything's totally worth it. If you can afford it, by all means, go for it. But I figured for me, since I keep switching out my pedals on a weekly basis, it's not feasible for me to have anything designed as a one and done type setup. I'm always changing them out. I bought this little power supply. Actually, for me, this was an amazing buy. It's a battery powered power supply, and it's able to power it up to, this one's actually able to power up to 7 different pedals. I've had no problems with these things. They last for a good 4 to 6 hours. So if you're just playing a local gig, if you're playing a church service or something like that, this will totally last the entirety of the time. And I've never had any issues with these. You just charge them up, set them on your board, plug in all your pedals, and you're good to go. You don't have to plug this into the wall or anything. So it makes it real easy for me to be in and out. I don't have to disconnect everything while they're giving a message. I can just grab my board and go. So that's been this was a great buy. I've got several of these, and I've had them for a little bit over a year, and so far they've held up just fine. So they've been totally worth it. This Diodario little expansion board has been amazing also. The cool thing about this guy is it extends out like that. You can make it as long as you need it. I haven't really used it fully extended with all the pedals, but I have used it extended somewhat. I prefer the smaller pedal boards. I try to keep it simple, but sometimes I get a little more extravagant. If I continue to design these pedal boards, I want to try to document it. I guess that's one of the reasons why I'm doing an audio explanation of pedal board design, is because it's more of a documentation for for what I'm doing, and what combinations work well for what music. So again, I was using the Hotone. This one's actually an expression and volume pedal, but I'm not using it as a volume pedal. I'm just using it strictly as a expression pedal. I'm sorry, this one also has a wah, so it's volume, wah, and expression. Usually I'll plug the expression into a tuner, and that works amazing. But in this case, I was using the expression portion to control the Cloudburst. And the Cloudburst was actually acting as a pad, since we didn't have a keyboard player. And to keep that pad going, I had that running through the freeze pedal. And this is kind of like an infinite sustain or freeze. They've got some newer ones of these out now. They have like a mini freeze, which has a few more features. I'll probably get that as well. But anyways. And of course, you saw the vintage Guyatone Parametric EQ pedal, which I think sounds amazing. Even though it's not considered an effect and it's just an equalizer, for me it's an effect. It actually really enhances my sound to a level that it sounds like an amazing. It adds a little bit more ambience to my overall sound, I feel. And so that was a great find. And then, of course, the tried and true Dunlop, MXR Dunlop. Now this pedal, I've gone through a lot of different volume pedals. I keep thinking that this is the worst one, and every time I buy a more expensive volume pedal, I keep going back to this one because it actually turns out to be really good. I don't know what I was thinking of a volume pedal. I mean, it's just, they're simple and they're basic, but for whatever reason, I love the setup on this one, how it's designed. I like that everything is front loaded. I don't like it when the pedals have all the connections off to the side. It just makes everything cluttered. Strymon's got it right. They're doing everything on the top. All these older pedals, they still have them off to the side. I mean, which, no problem. It's easy to work around. I mean, all the patch cables are designed to accommodate this type of setup. For me, it just takes up too much space. So anyways, guys, that's going to be it. I just wanted to go over that with y'all briefly and just kind of show you an ambient pedal board design for bass or synthesizer. Obviously, anything that you design for bass will sound great on synth. Synth even has a lower register, so in some cases you can be a little more experimental. But I think for this particular setup for me, this sounded great. Next week I'm going to be designing something else. So I guess this is kind of me deconstructing Sunday since we didn't have church. And I'm deconstructing my pedal board to kind of show you our setup. I'm part of a worship team, and we're connected with the local prison systems, and we're able to go into the prisons and play worship music, which is something that's very encouraging for the prisoners. We give brief testimonies and brief messages, and we're just real thankful here in the Midwest that we still have that opportunity to share the good news in song, and that's kind of one of the things that we do. And so that's what I did this weekend. I had an opportunity to go to Jefferson City Prison with our worship team, and we played a couple sets, and went over really well. We had a great response, and sometimes those are the people that really need to hear the message most of all. We're just there to kind of soften hearts and kind of share the good news, Jesus Christ. And we had that opportunity this weekend, and I thought it went over. I thought it was a success. But obviously, we're just planting seeds. God's going to give the increase. We're just trusting that His will be done. But it's always good to see when somebody has a change of heart after living that kind of lifestyle, and they decide they want to give their life to Jesus. Even though they may not ever be getting out, we're just there to kind of offer hope and encouragement and share the good news. And so this weekend, we had that opportunity. And this was the pedal design that I used when I took that into the prison. So anyways, guys, I just wanted this to be a short video, but now that I've introduced my voice, I think it's probably going to be a long video because I like to talk. That's why I try to, that's why most of my videos are no talking. It's just me playing music with text type on the bottom. I love those I actually prefer those kind of videos. So when I create music, that's what I want to focus on a little bit more, is just music and less talking. But when I do pedal board design, I probably will share my voice so I can kind of explain the setup. And this particular combination went really well. And unfortunately, next week, it's not going to be the same. Every week, it's something totally different, which is the fun and joy of collecting pedals. So anyways, guys, that's going to be it. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.